Welcome back to another video with the Rustenuts and Mindy in Dave's garage. So we carry on from where we were in the last video, where the engine came out and we started stripping the engine bay. There is still a bit to come out of the engine bay, and we've got a few bits and bobs to do. So first thing we're going to do is take the exhaust out, which is quite straightforward. It's going to require taking the manifold off first, which is 3 bolts, and then I think there's 4 bolts underneath which are attached to these little rubber mounts, and the rubber mounts inevitably will have failed, so they should be quite easy to take off. So the first thing we're going to do is take the exhaust off. Right then, so we are going to take off the manifold now. As you can see on this camera here, I've got 2 cameras set up, so hopefully I can get you a little bit better clear vision. Okay, so the exhaust is out, that's on the floor just here, and the back box has literally just dropped off. You can see it just here. The exhaust is shot. I need a new one. Just got to convince Eileen that we need a ManiFlow. So that's out. I've disconnected the gearbox from the prop shaft and undone the 2 bolts. So there's literally just 2 bolts that hold the gearbox to the gearbox mounting bracket. So that will come out with the gearbox, and then there's 4 bolts on the drive shaft, which are a real pain to get to, because on this car underneath, the drive shaft runs through a box. It's like a safety thing in case the drive shaft fails. It's contained within a box, but it's also there's a 4" by 4" hole that you have to get your hand in with the spanners to undo the 4 bolts. So they're out and done. So we should be able to basically literally just pull the gearbox out the front and lift it out now. But we're just stopping for a quick tea break. Tea on the tailgate, or salted caramel in my case. So there we go.
So we've got a Kilda impact wrench here. We have got a code down below to get 10% off Kilda impact wrenches. So let's see if it can whiz these nuts off. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. No problem. Go and get yourself one. Oh, it's still on the ground.
I need to say the same.
Yeah. Hang on. Kilda, always automotive.
Nice. So I've only got 1 mic, so we've got a sound engineer in the crew today. Oh wow, that's close. So
I've got mine.
So we're going to grab the gearbox and pull it forward, I think.
Yeah. Without knocking the car off its stand. Well, yeah. Yeah. It is on axle stand. Maybe not.
Maybe the chassis is twisted.
Yes.
Let's just say it's the floor. Right, ready?
3, 2, 1.
I think that's still connected to something.
I think I can push it.
Unless it's still attached. Oh, hang on. Okay, let's stop.
Yeah.
Because it's still attached. Do you know where it's still attached?
Oh, no.
Oh, there's a gear stick in there.
I was like, oh, that would move.
Let's try that again.
Ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the whole car's moved.
This axle stand is not on.
It's not touching anything.
Look at it, it's just floating.
It's not touching anything.
Axle stand.
The one that's not
So
touching
the axle
anything.
stand down there is just on that one. This one is. Yeah, I mean it's on it.
What's important to know here is this is not a how-to, so don't do as we do. Unless you want to. If you want to, then
If you want to do it, but
whatever.
go lost.
There's another. Oh, look, a spare bolt.
Yay!
Okay, I've got to disconnect the gearbox reverse switch.
Disconnected.
I mean, it's very well lubricated.
Look at that top plate, it's lovely. Niffy nighty.
Okay,
Ready?
I'm gonna get it over the lip. Ow! Oh.
Oh, I felt it for you. Do I need to go under and
Push it, maybe.
It's very nerve-wracking after seeing that.
It's fine. Look at it. Yeah.
Okay.
Hang on. Hang on.
Hold it, Dave. Liam, I think you might need help. There's another one. Uh-oh, Speedo.
Speedo. Back in.
Just rest it on the crossman bar. That's it.
So when you do yours,
Undo everything!
just remember to undo everything. Otherwise your mate stands there with it in his hand.
Dave was looking like a tomato.
I think that's going to be a 7/16.
I pulled a muscle.
Bless him. What's up? Killed her. Always automotive.
Right, where are we taking this?
Hang on, let me put this bolt. Oh, EP90. Oh. Let me just put this bolt back in it, because that one I won't remember where it goes. Right. Ready?
Yeah. Where are we going?
Onto the bench. So that's the gearbox out. Next we've got to pull all the wiring loom out and over so that it's out of the engine bay. But the first thing we're going to do is put the wheels back on, wheel her out, drop the carcoon base back in, and then wheel her back on, and then get back up on the axle stand so we can get the wheels, and then we can take off the what's this bit? Steering rack and the steering arm for the steering wheel, all of the cables and that when it's in the carcoon. So we're going to do that now.
A 19, you say?
Yeah, this does nothing.
Oh, hello.
I don't know whether the impact ones will go in, but we'll try it.
I'm glad I've got a step.
It looks like... She looks like the hover car out of Back to the Future 2. But it's not a hover car.
Oh my god, these, it's like nothing lifting these.
It's like work, eh, Dave?
Light work. Could I have some nuts?
Yeah, of course you can.
Okay.
Let me get you some nuts.
Rusty one.
I love some crispy nuts. Oh, thank you, sir. These are lovely. Aren't they cute? Why did we pick Land Rovers? These cars are so much easier to work on. Be too worried.
Well, I can see the cause of the problem here. Let's see if I can get them from. I reckon I can. Ready?
Yep.
Good.
Right, slowly down. We're going down?
Yep.
Are we going down?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's on me foot.
Why is that your foot?
Okay.
Well, that worked.
Okay.
You do very well.
Thanks, mate.
I definitely could have gone down there and got that extra stuff.
Right then, so the gearbox is out as you saw from that comedy show. So we're now going to get the carcoon's base down on the floor. Once I've picked up all of these nuts that seem to be there, get that down on the floor, and then we can bring Mindy back in, get her on the axle stand and whip the wheels off, and then I can take the steering rack off. That's the plan.
So what are you doing, Liam?
Disconnecting the thing.
Stuff.
No, it's not the steering rack, it's the steering column. But it's a little bit of a faff to get to do any of the disconnection.
Yeah.
Do I need a drill?
Yeah, it's in shoulder. Good.
Always automotive.
Killed her.
Oh, right in the ear. May I have a tappy tappy stick, please?
Big one.
A tappy tappy stick. A Liverpool screwdriver. I think there's something wrong with the thread. Oh, yes, that'll do. Thank you. God, the wiring in this car is horrendous. Hello there! And then we need a socket for the steering wheel nut.
What are you doing, Liam?
Taking the dash out.
Why?
It's in unison. Because I need to get to all this is broken, the temperature gauge.
Yeah.
And I need to get to all the wiring behind it because it's full of this stuff. Just very badly wired by the previous owner, of course. So she is empty. All of the stuff is out of it. Wiring looms out, dashboard's out, steering column's out, and we may have found that the steering rack itself might have been the cause of the wheel wobble, rather than the kingpins, because the kingpins feel quite solid. But we'll find that at a later date. So this is all empty now, apart from the speed holes down at the bottom, lightweight. And did I say the dash has come out? Well, the dash has come out, which Eileen will show you now. Ta-da! So all the dash is out, so we can get that checked and the wiring sorted out. And I know all of you people that are original. What's the word? What's the word? What's the word for people that like originality?
Rivet counters.
Rivet. for all you rivet counters, no offence, I am going to change a few of the things to electronic. The water temperature sensor, the oil pressure sensor, because the oil pressure sensor is basically just a rubber hose to a hard line that takes it into the dash, which is just another place for the engine to leak. So I'm going to change that to electronic, as well as the water temperature and the rev count and a couple of the other bits are going to go to electronic. Okay, inserting a little bit about the engine here, because a few of you, all like 2 or 3 of you, will be interested into what's happening with the engine. So poor old Mick, bless him, he's seen the video and felt extraordinarily sorry for me and basically sent a message saying, please don't build it in that wet garage, bring it to me, because it'll be dry and he's got the tools. And to be fair, it's a good shout. I can strip it down, we can use his tools to measure what we need to measure, we can use his advice on what I need, make a big list of what parts we need, and then we can get it rebuilt in a dry area and keep it there, to be fair, until we're ready to get it in here, basically. Until we've done the roof on Dave's garage, which will be soon. But yeah, so if you're interested, as you can see, the engine, even though it's covered, is starting to lose the battle with the elements. So it is the right thing to do to take it and strip it. I can document the parts and get it done right. So there's a little bit of information if you're interested. It's going to mix. So we're going to put it on a pallet, get a Euro pallet from work, stick it on a Euro pallet, put it in the back of the AA van, which is Bob, and then we'll take it over to mix. And he's very kindly offered to give us a bit of advice about what to do with it, and mainly got a little bit of mechanical sympathy. So there we go. So next one, don't know what we're going to do in the next one. We'll work it out when we get to it. We might strip the engine down and box it and take it to mix, or we'll possibly do something in the engine bay, but we'll work it out as and when we get to that. So thank you very much for watching. If you like the video, give us a like down below, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye everyone. Bye. Hang on.
Bye.